What's up, YouTube? What's up, Raider Nation? I'm Bubba the Raider. Uh, Coming up this morning. Ooh, there's glare going on. Sorry about that. Reacting to yesterday's round 2 and 3. We picked 4 players. I'm aware. Oh, my hair's doing some stuff. That people are probably pretty upset with these picks. They're not flashy. They're not what I expected at all. And I was not. It's kind of like Colton Miller. I was not thrilled. I didn't know what was going on. And again, I took the night, had some fun with my family, hung out with my brothers, played some fun games, and ate some really good food, and realized that I like it. And I think it makes sense. I think it makes more sense than I thought it did. Um, you know, we took, let's start with the first in the second round. We traded down and we took PJ Hall, defensive lineman from Stan Houston State. I don't know much about PJ Hall, but I didn't think, and I had said that we need that our biggest priority is defensive lineman, but you know, he's a big body dude who's going to pressure up the middle, and that's going to free up Khalil. That's going to free up Bruce Irvin, and that might free up Arden Key. So I can get behind it. I think that I really was not thrilled to see us pass on Isaiah Oliver. As I said, that was my dude right there. But um, I'm looking at. I didn't think it made sense. We traded up for at the very first pick of the third to take Brandon Parker, an offensive tackle, and like we're moving around and reaching on guys, and I didn't think that made sense. But then I realized like maybe we're not reaching on guys because when you look at some of the players who are getting drafted and where they're getting drafted, and you think about mock drafts you've seen or I've seen, players I've heard about, players I haven't, players I thought were going to go, you know, later, but they went really early. So you look at like Austin Corbett with the first pick in the second round. I didn't think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just didn't do enough research, but I didn't think he'd go that quick. I definitely didn't think Darius Leonard or Braden Smith, the Colts second round picks, would go that quick. Nick Chubb went kind of quick. You got Dante Pettis went early in the second. I didn't expect that over Christian Kirk's. Breland Speaks. You start seeing some of these guys: Anthony Miller, Kamika Toure, MJ Stewart, Duke Dawson, Brian O'Neill, Tyquan Lewis. That maybe I didn't think would go in round 2 or early round 2 or wherever. So we take Brandon Parker. Maybe, obviously, they know something we don't. Maybe he wasn't going to be there. Maybe they see something in him that, obviously, hopefully they do, that others maybe saw in him. So, I don't know. I'm looking at Royce Freeman to the Broncos. I hate that so much. I hate that so much. So, and then you look at some of the guys who are still on the board and realize that a lot of these names I kind of expected to hear go yesterday. Anthony Averett, Maurice Hurst, Jewell, J.C. Jackson, Dorrance Armstrong, John Kelly. There's still a whole, Nequimius St. Brown, there's still a whole bunch of talent on this board. And it kind of got me excited. We'll see what we do today. Jeez. But I have a list of guys who are still here, and I just quickly jotted this down. Didn't even look too in depth on who's still on the board, but like I said, Maurice Hurst, Josie Jewell could answer maybe our problem at middle linebacker. J.C. Jackson, I love J.C. Jackson from Maryland. He is a corner, and he is super physical, like really physical. He can hit. I like Holton Hill a lot. He was at one point projected to be an early guy, but he had some off the field issues, much like Arden Key, which, by the way, was finally that pick I was looking for, that flashy, oh my gosh, big name, Arden Key. If you follow mock drafts like I do, and like I will start looking at next year's mock drafts tomorrow. I love the draft. I just didn't have enough time this year to put in like I normally do, to where I could tell you breakdowns of all the guys who are still on the board. But I did do quite a bit of work this year, but not as much as I would like to. But Arden Key, this time last year, was like projected to be a top 3 pick. And then he went through some off the field stuff. He's a little light. I'm curious to see how we're going to use him, because they announced him as a linebacker. And I know we decided to move Bruce Irvin down to defensive end. So maybe an outside linebacker. That'd be cool. Maybe we do just put his hand in the dirt. So Holton Hill's another one of those guys. I'm pretty sure he led the nation until I think he got like suspended or kicked off the team or something. There was something with him. I think he led the nation in picks. And then, it's a kid from Iowa, Josh Jackson, ended up coming up and doing well. So Holton Hill is a good value pick. John Kelly is another guy. He's a running back from Tennessee who played with Kamara, and some people think is better than Kamara. He is not better than Kamara, I don't think, not right now as a prospect, but he's way more powerful. This kid runs angry. Like, if you want to see a guy who runs angry, you watch John Kelly. He throws stiff arms. He loves that contact, so it's kind of cool to see. Dorrance Armstrong, defensive edge rusher. Deshaun Hand from Bama. Akram Wadley is a shifty back from Iowa. Shaquem Griffin, everyone knows about him and his story, and he could be a real fixture at linebacker too. He's not a story. Like, he is a story. He's not just a story, though. He's a good football player. Anthony Averett, corner from Bama, would be good. Tony Brown, another corner from Bama. Oh, I got 3 Bama players here in a row. Bo Scarborough, again, super powerful running back. No speed. He would have, I really think, if I remember right, he's an underclassman. He would have benefited from another year of college. So, but he's a big guy. He would be a good player there. Cameron Kelly from San Diego State, defensive back. Micah Kaiser, linebacker. I mean, there's just a lot of guys. Linebacker from Virginia, Duke Ejiofor, Quentin Meeks, Marquise Haynes, and Equimius St. Brown, a receiver. I like him. Ogbonna Okoronkwo from Oklahoma, who is someone I thought was going to go in round 2. Josh Sweat, someone I thought was going to sneak into round 1. Tim Settle, another guy I could have seen sneaking into round 1. I mean, I don't think we need defensive tackle, but Maurice Hurst or Tim Settle, or like those guys, you put them there with PJ Hall, and you have a rotation, and you've got some help there. Sky Moore is a linebacker, and Kalen Ballage, running back from ASU, my alma mater. I have some good buddies who played high school football with Kalen Ballage, and he's a good dude. So that's just a quick list I put together of guys who are still on the board that make yesterday's draft make a little bit more sense, because teams are passing on these guys, and there's still a lot of really good talent on the board. So we gave up a lot of our picks. I don't know if I love that, but I'm a diehard Duck fan. I'm just going to say this. I didn't watch a lot of tape on, fifth best inside linebacker, and Tim Settle is still out there, you're right. So I didn't watch a lot of tape on some of these, on Tyrell Crosby, offensive tackle from Oregon, but I can just say I'm really glad we took 2 other offensive tackles not named Tyrell Crosby, because everyone was high on him, talking about him slipping into the first, and I watched a whole lot of games and a whole lot of times because I watch all Oregon games because that's where I'm from. Where he's watching the quarterback get sacked, and I was just not feeling Tyrell Crosby, and I have not his entire time at Oregon. So, but I mean, I'm trusting Gruden. I'm trusting Reggie. I'm trusting the process. There's still a whole mess of talent on the board, and I think we have our future offensive tackles. There's going to be some competition, which I think is really good. I really was not excited about Breno Giacomini being the prospect of him being a starter, and I really hope he's not. That guy was not very good from what I saw in Seattle, and then his time. I think he went to New York or somewhere, and I just wasn't excited about that. And it's true, we got to keep Derek upright. He's got to be able to get the ball to Martavis Bryant and Amari Cooper and Jordy Nelson and all those guys. So there's probably still some good tight ends too. I know we have Jared Cook, but there's some young tight end depth here that I think would be really good to maybe address with one of these picks, if there's anyone left. I haven't looked. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at this morning. I think that it's all good. I think we've got, maybe they're not the sexy picks. Is a beast, Chris Herndon. Oh, there you go. So Herndon, I'm gonna have to go check him out. I'll go do that right now. Then maybe they're not the sexiest picks. University of Miami, cool. Thanks, Cash. Maybe they're not the sexiest picks, but they're picks that are gonna be. I was telling my students that this is like my Christmas, and I was not thrilled with the Colton Miller pick, but I understood it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But I told them it was like you're dropping hints to your parents on Christmas all year for that iPad or whatever it is you want. And you wake up and they spent just as much money on socks. Like the socks are super useful. They're going to protect your feet. You're going to use them all the time. But socks aren't as fun as an iPad. You know what I mean? So, but everyone needs socks. So I think that these picks, with the exception of Arden Key, which I really do like that pick. I think if Gruden can, he's got the potential to either be a honey badger, where he's got the off the field issues and the coaches get through to him and he turns his stuff around and he is a really good football player, or a Randy Gregory, where coaches aren't getting through to him and he doesn't turn it around and he's out of the league or not playing or always suspended. So let's hope that Gruden can get to him and really get him to buy in. Do you think we're going to move Seth Roberts for a fourth? I really hope so. I'd love a fourth. I'd love a fifth. I think that he's done a lot for Oakland, for the Raiders. I've never been a huge Seth Roberts fan. I feel like he makes some really big plays. However, I feel like in order for him to make those big plays, he has to drop like 3 balls before and get really pissed. I don't think he's consistent enough. So I would love to get a 4th round pick and to give him a shot to go somewhere else and compete, because he's earned that with us. He's won games for us. He deserves a chance to go and compete, and he's going to just fall down the depth chart here in Oakland if behind Martavis Bryant, he can't compete with him. Behind Jordy Nelson, he can't compete with him, and behind Amari Cooper, he can't compete with him. So I think that it would be a really good thing for him, and I think it'd be a really good thing for us to pick up another pick, hopefully a 4th or a 5th. I mean, Cordero, we got a 5th for, and Cordero's a little bit older and was behind him on the depth chart. So we'll see. I mean, you take an undrafted free agent, turn it into a 4th, that's a pretty good investment right there. So hopefully we do. I love that. Yeah, hopefully we do. So I'm going to let you guys go. That's kind of where I'm at. I'll make another video tonight, talk about the picks we make. But yeah, watch for like Josh Sweat and a couple of those guys, Anthony Averett. I really like J.C. Jackson. That might be my guy today. Yesterday, my guy was Isaiah Oliver, and we passed on him repeatedly. A lot of teams did too, so it's kind of frustrating. He fell. Naheem Hines, probably the fastest. Yeah, that's true. And would you be mad if the Raiders drafted him in the fourth? I wouldn't be mad at all. I think we should address the running back position, and I wouldn't be mad at all if it was a guy who was faster than not, because we have power guys, but we need a future guy. And you watch teams, and this is why I think there's been such a big run on running backs. You watch teams find those Kareem Hunts or those Jordan Howards or what have you, and I want that. I want that. Another guy I want maybe is Kiki Kute from Texas Tech. He's a receiver. He's really fast. I want our Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? I want a guy who's gonna bring that as well, the speed. And I know we have Johnny Holton, so he does, but he's a little bit different. Because Jordy Nelson's not gonna play very long. So I think that it's never too early to start looking towards the future. So Naheem Hines, or Haynes, I think is his name. I've heard a lot about him, and I think he's a very promising and talented running back, and I would not be upset at all to hear us take him with this first pick here in the fourth round. So a lot of talent on the board, and let's see what we do. It should be a good one. Let me know what you guys think we should do. Let me know, guys, you're big on Cash is in there, leaving some comments, putting some names out there. I'm gonna go look into these guys. There's still a lot of talent, and I think it's gonna be good. So let me know. Subscribe if you haven't, and like this video if you do, dislike it if you don't, and just win, baby.